The American Le Mans Series returns to its spiritual home at Road Atlanta for the final race of the 2001 series, the fourth Petit Le Mans 1,000-mile enduro. Well, the calendar started off with Texas, the sprint race in hot spring conditions, very different from here at Atlanta this weekend. Then the 12 hours of Sebring, big break for Le Mans before they headed to California and Sears Point. Then three in a row, Portland, Mosport and Mid-Ohio. Small break before Laguna Seca, and then a chance to prepare for nearly a month before the 1,000-mile 10-hour race at Petit Le Mans. And the GT pole, that has been won by JJ Leto, the first of three BMWs in the top three in the class. Behind the safety car, they weave some heat into the tyres, ready for the start of 1,000 miles. It's ready to get going in. The Audis, front row of the grid for the championship contenders. The two Palaces mingling with the two privateer cars. Row 4 is an all-caddy affair. And as they come down towards turn 12, the green flag will be waiting to start the fourth Petit Le Mans. The prototypes spinning away is John Field. As the prototypes get on the gas nice and early, John Field's Lola in the wall even before he gets to the start-finish line. And the Gulf Audi of Stefan Johansson up into third ahead of David Brabham in the first of the red Paynos. So Audi's first, second and third, with Christensen jumping away from Emanuele Pirro. Pirro in the second of the Yerst run cars. Then the two Panoses, so one has gone backwards, one come forwards. Two Cadillacs on their own. Didier de Radiguez leads in 675. The yellow Corvette leads in GTS. That is Andy Pilgrim under pressure already. So lots of drivers looking for the early moves on the first lap. It's wet offline, dry on the racing line, but plenty of damp water around, particularly on the curbs, to catch out the unwary. Safety car out and the field following them round. The two Audis once more, first and second. Then the Gulf car in third. Then Brabham in fourth, Klaus Graf in fifth, and Johnny Herbert in sixth place. The Cadillac there of Angelelli looks to be okay, no damage it would seem. On board with Hans Stuck, he is third in the GT class, in the PTG BMW GT3R. Four of these new V8 engine cars leading the GT class, the previously dominant Porsches, now on the back foot. So ready to go again, and Christensen crawling out of turn 10, but Pirro is not very quick away. And as Christensen runs down to 12 to take up the green, the Gulf car moves into second place. Brabham has a look at the back of Emanuele Pirro as well. Graf right behind him, Johnny Herbert right behind Klaus Graf, looking down to the inside of turn 1. That's a brave place to go inside on cold tyres. He doesn't make the move, nor does Brabham. But the Gulf Audi of Stefan Johansson now in a strong second place. The privateer Audis, the Gulf car, the European Le Mans champions this year, all through 3, 4 and 5. And that's Gunnar Jeanette, the Jeanette Racing Porsche in the wall, heavy front end damage, and that looks like the exit. Yes, it is the exit of turn 7. Let's have a look. This is the look back, and he was on the curbs there, probably water under the tyres as he hit the gas hard, straightening it up out of 7 and heavily into the wall on the run down the hill. Well, Gunnar Jeanette, the youngest ever driver in this series when he was a teenager last year, and it looks as though he is firmly out of the race. Well, Stefan Johansson has been black flagged by the organisers. He passed Emanuele Pirro before the green flag at the last restart, and he will be forced to serve a stop-and-go penalty as they follow round behind the safety car. There you can see the red 550 Maranello, third in the GTS class, behind the Corvette and the Saleen. The previously dominant Vipers, the best they can manage is fourth. Green again, as again Christensen jumps away from Pirro. Brabham third, and in fourth place now Johnny Herbert. He's passed Klaus Graf, the Gulf Audi, heading to the pits as the Cadillac swap position. Angelelli passes Goossens for sixth place of Andy Pilgrim. Pilgrim won last year with the last lap pass of the Oreca Viper. Wonder if he'll have to leave it that late here. Looks as though he's keeping the battle alive. Ricard Rydell third in the ProDrive Ferrari, the first appearance of a 550 Maranello in the American Le Mans series. They're looking for customers here. The response has been good. Response good too to the Saleen. Porcella looking to win the championship here. He needs to complete 50 laps to score starting points, enough to put him into an unchallengeable championship lead. Well, so the top 3 and 675 pass him. Here is the GT leader, JJ Leto. Dirk Muller in second place in the other Schnitzer BMW, first and second in the class. Hanstuck third in the PTG BMW. But at the moment, it's the Schnitzer cars that are running away with it in GT. But the customer cars still with that stalling problem. Right behind the two Alex Job McKenna Racing Porsches come out. Oh, and look alongside them, the BMW. And that's the 42 car. That's Fredrik Ekblom just holding on to the GT class lead. So driver changes all round in the GT BMWs, but not in the Porsches. That's why they have closed up. And look at the BMW pull away up the hill there. Plenty of torque and horsepower in that V8. The Corvette of Andy Pilgrim comes back out, and look, 2 or 3 cars further back, there is Terry Borchella's Celine. So some slick pit work by the GM crew has gained them back the GTS class lead. Green flag, an hour into the race, they go racing again. And out front, Claudia Hurtgen making a pass for the lead on Chris McMurray. The two 675 cars have not stopped yet for fuel. Well, let's have a look here. Exiting 7, that is Johnny Herbert, and right behind it, David Brabham. Herbert with a wheel in the dirt behind the wall, and Magnussen ready to go as we ride on board with GT leader JJ Leto. Terry Borchella ahead. There goes Stefan Johansson in the Gulf Audi. Johansson recovering from that spin, of course. Again, an incident we've seen before, and the GT lead changing. JJ Leto in the 42 car, taking the lead away there from the 43 sister car. That's Dirk Muller. Dirk Muller sharing with JJ's normal partner Jörg Muller in an all-Muller lineup. Don't know why. One of the Schnitzer deals there. And JJ with Fredrik Ekblom, the Finn and the Swede in that car. And here is JJ, looking cool, calm and collected. And if you've got €500,000, you could buy one of these road car versions next February, according to BMW. Of course, it's irrelevant to me. I don't have €500,000. Down through turn 2, 3, and climbing back up through 4 go the GT leaders. While into 12 comes our GTS leader, Kelly Collins, now at the wheel of the 4 Corvette. Franz Conrad has taken over from Terry Borchella in the Conrad Celine, and that has dropped a little bit back. Another smart turnaround in the pits by the GM crew, and a BMW off track. Who is that? Well, it's 42. It's the GT leader, JJ Leto. Well, he still looks cool, calm and collected as he recovers from that one. Through go the race leaders. But he's going very slowly in the car, leaning over to the right rear. I'm sure I heard the noise of a puncture there. There is a puncture on the right rear. JJ Leto has picked up a flat, and he will be again trying to judge how fast and then how slow he can go to get it safely back to the pits. And past him goes Franz Conrad, as James Weaver is in the pits. And Weaver in for damaged steering, according to the team. JJ Leto with a damaged rear end. Oh, and as we replay it on board with Leto, as he was spun out of turn 1, did you see Weaver's, Riley and Scott go through there? I did. So Leto taking the opportunity to hand over to Ekblom as they fuel the car and take on tyres, and there a clash between the two in turn 1. With James Weaver in the Riley and Scott Lincoln and JJ Leto on the outside in the BMW. On board again, and look at it. Leto being passed by the fast-running Audi. Right behind was Weaver, and Leto, it seems, shut the door on him. So Fredrik Ekblom now on board. They've lost the GT lead to their teammates. They will try and fight back. But it's been a busy opening session here. Race leader Stefan Johansson's thereby slamming the door. On board with Fredrik Ekblom on the pit straight and into turn 1. This is quick stuff, starting to climb up the hill now, using all the torque of the BMW 4-litre V8 to pull it over through 2, blind into 3, then pouring on the power down the hill through 4 and 5. It's behind the safety car in a full course yellow period, and further back in the queue, the second place Gulf Audi. Well, recovering from their early dramas, this is Jan Magnussen in the factory panos, the much delayed car, often the fastest on the racetrack. And as we get back to green flag racing here between the champion Audi of Andy Wallace and the Gulf Audi, Magnussen making up places. The two Audis are several laps ahead of him and in fact of the Cadillac that's just in front in this little prototype battle as they weave their way through the GT class Porsches and BMWs, but all four of them running at very similar speed into the night time. And Magnussen and Brabham, after that accident that put them out, really flying. Patrick Lemary at the helm of the Gulf Audi at the moment on the tail of this queue. Magnussen shaping up Andy Wallace. He's looking for a pass down into 10 maybe. Well, Wallace gets past the Alex Job Racing Porsche, and so does Magnussen. Wallace sliding on the exit. They may not have the experience that the Urs team have in running these Audis, but in the second half of the season they have really come on strong with this car. And the photographer's flashbulbs will be picking up that distinctive Dayglow red, white and blue stars and stripes livery that's been freshly applied to the car in the wake of the terrorist atrocities at the Twin Trade Towers and at the Pentagon at the beginning of September. Well, Magnussen with Lemary behind him, with Wallace in front of him, and spearheading the charge through the traffic is the Cadillac. Past one of the Schnitzer BMWs. They're tough cars to pass, lacking very little in top speed. It's like not taking the fire bottle over the pit wall and not wearing gloves. Here is Fredrik Ekblom, damaged spoiler on the 42 BMW. They'll be called into the pits to have that rectified. And again, the 42 car will suffer another delay. That possibly is a legacy of JJ Lehto's grass tracking. And the Conrad Celine slowing on track as it's passed by Magnussen's panos, gone by the... Oh my goodness! And look at the brake lights flash on there as Patrick Lemary sees the wheel park company with the car in front of him at the start of the race, and he did start the race, and he now is the 2001 champion. But the GTS win here looks as though it will not go his way. Darkness falling, Emanuele Pirro still leading the race. What more dramas does this fourth running of the Petit Le Mans Enduro Classic have for us? Well, through the slow turns 6 and 7, Pirro's car looks not to have missed a beat, but, well, everybody else in the field, pretty much bar none, will be able to reassure him that there are always potential dramas around every corner here. 1 lap to go, the white flag lap, with some 9 hours and 40 minutes of racing gone, and to win the category comfortably. What a way for her to finish her season. And for Jörg Müller, he failed to win here the last 2 years. This time he's second as well in the GT class behind Hans-Stuck Borisset and Bill Aublin's PTG BMW. But Jörg Müller wins the Drivers' Championship, and perhaps the greater goal that has been. So the GTS class going to the Corvette, the GT class going to the BMWs, but the overall victory going to the number 2 Audi of Biela and Pirro, and 675 going to Milka Duno, John Graham and Scott Maxwell. So the Dick Barber Racing drivers first, second and third. Terry Borchella, the GTS champion. Jörg Müller, the winner in the GT championship, despite not winning here at Petit Le Mans.
I'm very happy that we did it. The only thing which is not that good is that I won it alone, because I shared a car with JJ Lehto the whole year. And to me, we are champions. We're both the champions. You know, we both had the chance to win it here, and it's, you know, it shouldn't be just one driver really.